Hello and welcome back to another video. So per usual, I put a poll on my community page on my YouTube, and baseball photography was a video that a good handful of people wanted to see. So I don't have any POV. I haven't thrown a camera on the top of any of my R6s to video. The games have been bitterly cold, so I've been bundled up, and adding a camera on top of the R6 along with the layers that I'm wearing and gloves, it just would have been too much. And so for now, this video is just going to be a little review from the past few games that we've had at home, and I'm just going to show some of my favorite images. And so with that said, here we go. So a few things I would like to note is when I cover baseball, I try to move around as much as possible. The light is always going to be different from all the different angles, and then we have multiple areas where I can get higher or lower or just move around the field. So typically on my cameras, I usually have the 24-70 on the second and the 300 on the primary. And the reason for that is the 300 covers most of the field. It does okay in the outfield. If I'm on the third base line, I can capture left field, and vice versa on the first base side. But it's a little too tight for batting if I'm up by the dugout on the inside. So if I'm closest to the batter on the dugout, there's a little opening in the fence. If I shoot from there, the 300's a little too tight. And as much as I would love to have the 70-200 on there, typically I go with the 24-70. And that is because when I move into the dugout, at least with these games, it's been so cold, I've been trying to keep my gear out inside the clubhouse. So typically I try to move around as quick as possible and not miss any batters. So typically the 24-70 comes in very handy in the dugout if they get a home run or a run comes in on an RBI, wherever it may be. They usually create a little tunnel. So I feel like the 24-70 is best right there. Though, like I was saying, the 300 would be too tight. I think the 70-200 would be perfect up against the dugout. So today I'm probably going to run the 70-200 on my secondary and the 300 on the primary, and be able to switch to the 70-200 anytime I need any shots that it might be slightly wider. And I could always stand back in the dugout if they have a run come in or a home run and shoot at 70 and probably be perfectly fine. So that's one thing that I have been doing. And then typically for a couple innings or at least a full top or bottom, I will go into the clubhouse up top. Those are all of our big sponsors for the season, and typically they're okay with me coming up. They know that I work for the school, so I can grab at least an inning up there of infield and batting. Batting, it's really good because if it's a left-handed or a right-handed batter and they twist and hit, their face is facing me, and then I'm filling the frame with turf or the field. So that's a good angle I try to shoot often. Same with the pitchers. Getting a good pitching shot from up there is a really cool angle as well. It's just a nice way to change things up. Now, sometimes I get a little stuck and I stay in the dugout a little longer than I probably should. And what I mean by that is I like to move around, like I said. And sometimes I get comfortable in the dugout because it's out of the wind or out of the cold, or it's just easy to just stay right there and cover. And it's not a bad spot. It's right on the third base. I'm at the end of the dugout. And if I want to move through the dugout, I can. I could stand up on the bench and shoot over the players' heads. And with the 300, I'm not even seeing the players. So it's also a good angle as well. But sometimes I feel like I will sit there for sometimes a whole game and not get any variety in my shots. And so this year I've been very active and moving around, even getting up in the stands next to people just to get higher angles to shoot down at third base or first base, depending on where I'm sitting in the stands. So I just try to move as much as possible, and that way not all of your shots of the pitcher is the same, or any of the position players and batters. You can get a good home run shot at one spot, but if you just keep giving them the same shot of that batter in the same position, what gives them any reason to use the same shot from the newest game when they can just use the one shot from the last game if it just looks the same? So move around as much as possible is what I've been trying to do, and so far it's going well. It also has been keeping me decently warm. Our games have been, I don't think we've broke the 50s in any of our baseball games at home this year. Luckily today, right now it's 23 and clear, but we have a few more hours until the game comes up. So hopefully by the time the first game, it's a doubleheader by 1 o'clock, hopefully we're close to the 50s and we have the sun out. So maybe it'll be a little warmer if I'm in the sun. So with that said, these were just some of my favorite images from this season so far. It's very, very early into the season, and so it should be a good one. It looks like we have a pretty solid team. So with that said, softball will be coming up very, very soon at home, and so I'll have some softball videos coming out if that's what you guys want to see. But with that said, I'd appreciate if you'd like to subscribe. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions, suggestions, or ideas, and I will see you in the next one.